Let's talk Tanya for the 15th day of the first Adar, Shushan Purim Katan. So, already the last few days we're talking about the process called mevachenle, ego crushing, which, as the Alter Rebbe says, is an antidote for timtum alev, when the heart is stopped up, when a person is feeling emotionally unresponsive and unable to generate passion, desire, excitement, emotions in areas of holiness. And we've discussed over the last few days crushing the ego by contemplating one's own loneliness, and the different things that a person might have done inappropriately in the past. And today the Alter Rebbe is going to move to an entirely different area. We're still doing mevachenle, we're still crushing the ego, but it's a different method. Today the Alter Rebbe suggests something surprising: screaming and intimidation. Alter Rebbe says, take some time and just scream at your animal soul. Now, it doesn't have to be audibly. You don't have to actually sit in a room and scream at it and scream at your animal soul. Now, people think that you might need some medical attention, but it means in your mind, a mental shouting session. And we turn to the animal soul and we say, you disgusting, repulsive, evil, wicked thing which you are. How dare you lie? How dare you obscure the truth? The truth is that there's nothing other than God, and God is everywhere, and God is everything, and even in the space that I occupy right now, it's all godliness. And here you are, putting on the show as if I'm something, as if the world is something. Stop it. Stop it. Now, this is very different than the method that we've spoken about up until this point in two ways. Number one, up until now, we're talking about cool, calm, rational reasoning. Sitting and thinking about how lowly we are in a very rational way. And now we're talking here about intimidation. The second way, which is different, is that the way we've been talking about until now in the past few days has been, you might want to say, internalization. We're talking about how lowly I am. As opposed to right now, when you're screaming at the animal soul, by definition, you're externalizing the issue. It's not me. It's the animal soul. I'm screaming at the animal soul. And it's a different type of ego crushing, and we know that it works. Even in this, practically speaking, when someone sits down with you and explains to you very rationally about your failures and your deficiencies and all your problems, obviously that's a very deflating experience. But also, even if someone is not saying something which is rational, but someone just screams at you and calls you names, that also is deflating. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to deflate the animal soul through screaming at it and intimidating it. Now, why does this work? Alter Rebbe gives us a very profound idea over here. The animal soul is klipa. Now, klipa is a lie. Not klipa lies, but klipa is a lie. I believe we've spoken about this in the past in chapter 6 of Tanya. Klipa is a lie, meaning the definition of klipa is it doesn't allow you to see the truth for what it is. The truth is that everything is godliness. The truth is everything is an extension of God and there to serve God. And klipa is that force and that power which allows us to look at something and not see it for what it really is. It's a lie. How do you fight a lie? Now, you fight a lie with the truth. As soon as you have the truth, the lie automatically dissipates. It evaporates. By way of example, if you have darkness, how do you fight darkness? By lighting a candle. Because darkness is the absence of light. So the moment that you have the light, the darkness disappears. A lie is the absence of truth. So the moment that you have the truth over there, the lie should disappear. So think about it for a second. We have an animal soul, darkness, lie. We have a godly soul, light, the truth. So shouldn't naturally the animal soul evaporate in the face of the godly soul? Why doesn't that happen? And the answer is, the Alter Rebbe explains, God gives the animal soul the power of klipa, this unnatural, and you might want to say illogical power to stand up against the godly soul, because otherwise there wouldn't be bechira chavshus, otherwise we wouldn't have free choice. So God says to the animal soul, I'm giving you the power. I'm giving you the power to be a lie, even though the truth exists, but only up until a point. Up until which point? When the godly soul asserts itself and stands up and says to the animal soul, you're a liar, go away. I'm not being fooled by you. Then God removes that power from the animal soul and it evaporates. As a lie evaporates before truth, as darkness evaporates before the light. And therefore, over here, the Alter Rebbe says it's an effective method. Yes, try it. Scream at the animal soul. Expose it for what it is. Expose it for the lie that it is. And what's going to happen is that crushes the animal soul, that crushes the ego, and that accomplishes the mevachenle, the ego crushing that we're looking for over here in order to be able to get rid of the timtum halev the emotional unresponsiveness that we are experiencing. With this, we've concluded chapter 29. We have one more chapter, chapter 30, which is an entirely different method of mevachanle, of crushing the ego, which we will introduce, God willing, in tomorrow's Tanya.